Imagine a place where silence feels alive, where the mist carries whispers from those long gone. You've stumbled upon the haunted basin, a place of secrets, shadows, and things best left buried. But tonight, we're digging them up. Welcome to a mystery steeped in fear and fascination. This basin, hidden away from the main roads and even from most maps, has held its ghostly grip on the locals for generations. They speak of strange lights flickering over the water at midnight, shadows moving in impossible directions, and that eerie sound, like laughter. But trust me, nobody's laughing. Well, except maybe you right now thinking, come on, shadows don't move on their own. But you'd be surprised. Let's go back to the late 1800s, when a small town sat on the edge of this basin. Times were hard, and the townsfolk buried their dead right by the water's edge. And one particularly harsh winter, well, let's just say there were more graves than people left. But these weren't just any graves. As the years wore on, visitors to the area reported strange occurrences. Graves that seemed to shift location, voices calling out from beneath the earth, and at night, a glow coming from the graves. They say if you wander there alone, you might hear the faint whispers of those forgotten souls, asking, no begging, to be remembered. But here's the terrifying part. Not all the whispers are pleading. Some, they're angry. The basin isn't only haunted by the past, it's as if the land itself is somehow alive. Those who've dared to camp nearby speak of feeling watched, even surrounded by an unseen presence. Ever felt the hair on the back of your neck stand up for no reason? Yeah, try having that feeling for an entire night. And then there's the water. Some say that on certain nights, if you're brave or foolish enough to look deep into the basin's murky depths, you might catch a glimpse of the Watchers. They're described as figures who float just beneath the surface, eyes wide open, gazing upward. No one's ever figured out what they are, but they're not exactly human. Some legends say they're the spirits of those who drowned here. Others say they're older than human memory. One thing's for sure, if you see a Watcher looking back at you, it's already too late. But this place is much more than spirits and shadows. It's rumored that in the early 1900s, a cult of sorts took root here. They were obsessed with the idea of unlocking something ancient, something that slept beneath the basin. Their rituals were disturbing, to say the least. And I know what you're thinking. Of course there's a cult. Horror stories always have a cult. But hey, can you blame them? Where there's mystery, there's usually a group of people willing to take it way too far. One infamous night, flames erupted along the basin's edge. People reported seeing figures chanting by the firelight, dressed in strange garb, murmuring in languages no one could understand. It was called the Night of Fire, and the screams could be heard echoing across the water until dawn. Then, the fires just vanished. And in the morning, all that remained was ash and an unnatural silence. To this day, no one's found out who those people were or what they were trying to summon. Perhaps some secrets are buried because they should never be uncovered. As if all this weren't enough, the basin has one final terrifying mystery. People disappear here. The locals will tell you about loved ones who went on a short walk, a midnight dare, a simple fishing trip, and were never seen again. Those few who've returned, they don't talk about what they saw. Some barely speak at all. Maybe it's just me, but if you go into a haunted basin and make it back out, you'd think you'd want to brag a little, right? But no, these folks are silent as the grave. It's said that the basin calls to those who feel lost, tempting them to step closer, to leave a piece of themselves behind. And once you're under its spell, there's no escape. Those who stay too long feel an overwhelming urge to return, again and again until the basin takes them entirely. Some say it's not a place but a creature, one that feeds on loneliness, on fear, on curiosity itself. So do you dare to visit this haunted basin? Or better yet, maybe it's time to dig deeper into how such horrors began. For that, take a look at our next story, The Haunting Birth of Minstrel Horror. The history behind it may just leave you wondering how far back the roots of fear truly go.